Double dollar sign inside. That's right, Black Malone. We right here chilling, nigga. YouTube, Cool Out Sports, boy.
Good look. If you, yeah.
Hey, talking about man, like the food sports people.
All right, thanks. Yep. All right, guys. Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LWBC. Make sure you smash the like on this video, and also if you want to, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Now, you know, for me, I look at the up and coming fighters, you know, who are coming up in the ranks, and who are, you know, making their name. And I feel that, you know, Devin Haney is surpassing these people because, for one, you know, he's staying pretty active. Number two, you know, it's not by his doing, but it's by the powers that be's doing. He's the one that's having a strap right now. When you look at the fighters like Ryan Garcia, and you look at the fighters like Shakur Stevenson, who just recently got a strap, don't get me wrong, but I think he got a top rank strap, you know, with that WBO. But you also have to look at level of opposition as well. And, you know, Devin Haney, I think, has had the tougher opposition. Now, don't get me wrong, he started like small. You know, he didn't really have any really tough opposition at the beginning. I mean, he really fought a bunch of no-name guys at the beginning, but that's like changing, and it's changing really quickly. I mean, the guy he fought, that Dominican, gave him work. Now, don't get me wrong, he was dominant in the fight. You can say that he won all the rounds in that fight. You know, that he pitched a shutout fight. But that didn't mean that guy didn't make him look bad. I mean, that fighter really made him look kind of bad. You know what I mean? It was, like, surprisingly how bad he made him look. You know, but at the end of the day, Devin Haney still got it done. And we also have to take into consideration that Devin Haney said that he had a dislocated shoulder in that fight, you know, and that goes just to show the nitty-gritty that he has, that he was fighting with a dislocated shoulder. You know, Devin Haney, man, the thing is, you know, you kind of do have, I guess you can say that Devin Haney is kind of like a more milder version of Floyd Mayweather in terms of his trash talk and in terms of his charisma and things like that. But you know, you can kind of see the competitive edge and the desire to be great that he possessed. You know, you can kind of compare it to a Pretty Boy Floyd. You know what I mean? You can kind of see that in Devin Haney. You know, I mean, he still wants, like, despite, you know, not looking stellar in his last fight, he still wants that Lomachenko fight. You know, and unfortunately, from Team Lomachenko, we've heard nothing but crickets. You know, because, I mean, I think what Lomachenko's considering doing is moving down. You know, because I honestly think he is going to, entertain a fight with Inoue. I think he'll honestly entertain one. So that's why he's moving down, because he knows that fight will be available for him to get, and the fight will be now more easier to get since Inouye has signed to Top Rank. So that fight's just like a gimme fight for him. You know what I mean? And it's a fight for a chance for him to possibly look good, because in his last fights he hasn't looked too good. I mean, when you look at the fight he had against Luke Campbell, that fight he didn't look too good in, and the fight against Jose Pedraza he didn't look too good in either. You know, so this may be an opportunity for him to like look good in the fight. You know, but anyhow, let's get back to the fact that Devin Haney is still wanting the smoke from Lomachenko, saying that franchise belt can't really save you, and that he still wants action, you know, and I don't know if he's going to get that action still, you know, because here's the thing, you know, when it came to Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko was saying things like, I would, you know, if he gets past Comey, I can make him quit. You know, he said that. He said, I'll make him quit, right? But he hasn't had that same energy for Devin Haney, and I think I know why. The thing is, when I watched Teofimo Lopez fight, he, for one, you know, he did something that you shouldn't do at the beginning of the fight. He tried to use the Philly shell. You have to use that Philly shell. You have to pick where you use the Philly shell at. You can't just like go into it and just decide, oh, you know, the Philly shell is going to work for me. There's methods to it, you know. And so what I'm saying is that, like, with him, you know, his methods to it didn't really work. And another reason why he probably said that is because Teofimo Lopez is very flat-footed. That's one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb, is that he's pretty flat-footed, you know. And so, you know, Lomachenko's probably thinking that maybe he will rely on his power, but, you know, in trying to generate the power, he would just walk into counters all night long. But Devin Haney, I think there's a different kind of skill set with him. For one, he's not flat-footed, you know. That's the first thing. For two, he has pop. You know, he's getting his man strength. I mean, he broke someone's orbital bone. You know, so the man strength is coming. You know, it's definitely coming to him. Now, here's another thing, too, that I just thought of. You know that Devin Haney is gaining momentum when you have Tank Davis, who is, I repeat, the champion of Twitter. Okay? There's no other person who is undisputed in Twitter other than Gervonta Tank Davis. I can't name anybody who's has Twitter fingers like he does, and he puts them to use. And although those Twitter fingers are, you know, basically don't lead to fights, they do lead to people getting stirred up. They lead to his name being mentioned, and I think that's what he wants at the end of the day, you know. So those are some of the things that they lead to, and that's the reaction he's looking for, right? So even he went on to say that he would hurt Devin Haney, but you know, when we look at Gervonta Tank Davis and what he says he'll hurt everybody. I mean, he said even that, you know, he would stop Josh Taylor, you know. I mean, he says it about everybody that he has Twitter fingers for. So, you know, with that being said, you know, this was expected. You know, this was definitely expected from Gervonta Tank Davis. I would like to see those two fight. I mean, I heard in the sparring, I heard that, and this is coming straight from the source. Floyd Mayweather Sr. has, he said, don't even ask about how did he do in the sparring, because he said it was like a shutout, So, with that being said, the fight will definitely be different, but, there's only one way to find out. And now, Devin Haney took to Instagram Live with Ryan Garcia, and they were talking about a fight and building up a fight, you know what I mean? And basically, with that being said, I can see that fight happening, and they're talking about making it happen in 2020. So if they do make that happen, of course I got Devin Haney in that fight, and that would be a good fight, and that would be a good measuring stick, and it will probably be Ryan Garcia's first fight at for a belt, you know what I mean? If that fight does come into fruition, hopefully it does. Now, it appears now, however, that Devin Haney is going to have to deal with someone who is going to potentially make him look even worse than the guy he just fought. Because it appears that, and this is the thing I really dislike about the WBC, because, and this franchise championship thing, because basically now you're giving him Lomachenko's dirty work. You're basically handing him down that dirty work that he didn't want, because he was the man though. So you're just basically going to skip the process and say, well, since we're skipping him and we're going down to the rest of the bunch, then we'll feed him to the other guys, instead of having the chance to prove himself and see if he is that good to beat Lomachenko. So now it appears that the WBC has ordered Devin Haney to fight Javier Fortuna, and that fight will go to purse bid, but they should have things established for that fight to happen in Mexico City on December 13th. Now, Javier Fortuna is going to be a tough customer because he's a dirty fighter. He is a scrappy fighter. And this is going to really test Devin Haney, and this is going to test what kind of dog Devin Haney has, and a lot of people thought that, that he won against Robert Easter when they fought. A lot of people had Robert Easter losing that fight. Now, this fight right here, man, is going to be a tough test for Devin Haney, but we're going to see if he's up to if he's up to the task, if he's going to be up to the task, if he's going to do something incredible, if he's going to take what he learned from the last fight, apply it to that fight, and be able to make so many adjustments that he can hurt Javier Fortuna. But it's not going to be an easy fight, but this is going to be another great measuring stick on where he is, and we'll be able to gauge him more for, based on, if he's going to fight Lomachenko or if he's going to fight anybody else at that upper echelon. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. I just wanted to share this news, and, hopefully we're going to see this fight, and it's going to be a good fight. And, hopefully the turnaround is not too soon for Devin Haney, because of the simple fact that he said he did dislocate his shoulder in the other fight. I mean, he still needs time to recuperate. And if they were to have this fight and agree with it on November, for December 13th, I don't know if that would be a long enough training camp for him to prepare for that fight, because he would definitely need it against Fortuna. For a simple fact, Fortuna is just one of those guys who definitely will make you look bad. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Foolish signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. And John,